As I'm sure all of you have heard, or most of you have heard, uh, EA has officially bought Respawn Entertainment. Electronic Arts has bought Respawn Entertainment. And as you all know, Respawn was the people that were behind the first Titanfall and Titanfall 2. They've made a few other games, but those were their two biggest ones and most notable that I can think of off the top of my head. Before, if Respawn were to make a game where they were partnered with EA, then Respawn would make it and EA would publish it. But since they've bought it, now EA is over top of all of it. They bought Respawn for a little over $4 million, if I remember correctly. Don't have the exact numbers with me, but it was a little over $4 million. And I've been seeing a lot of people saying, well, rip Respawn, they're going to get shut down and everything. Well, there's a lot of reasons why, and I think this entire issue is something that needs talked about, for sure. And especially for the people that have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, which seems to be most people. So it is a fact that EA has bought Respawn. It is also a fact that in the past, when Respawn have bought companies, smaller companies, such as Visceral Games, they have shut them down. However, a lot of people don't realize the fact that they don't get shut down immediately. And there's quite a few reasons why they're not going to get Respawn is not going to get shut down. At least not soon, anyway. Maybe 4 or 5 years down the road, maybe. There's a good chance. But like in the next month or so, no, because Respawn would or EA would not buy Respawn just to shut them down. I mean, it's like saying, hey, I'm going to buy a $4 million car just to blow it up. There's no point in doing that. And a lot of people are going after Respawn, saying, well, it's their fault, they're going to get shut down, it was all them. They almost had to take, or they were almost forced, excuse me, I'm kind of sick, but they were almost forced to take it, not by Respawn, but by the gaming community. So despite the praise that Titanfall 2 got from critics and YouTubers and reviews, it just didn't make a lot of money. And despite what some people might be thinking, video game companies have to have money to pay their employees so that they can put food on the table for their families and provide for their families, so that they have a stable job and a job worth actually going to every day. And Titanfall 2 was kind of a financial disaster for Respawn. Because it had a very player-friendly model. And that can happen. It can work out. But only if people actually buy the game. Now, I'm not going to go out and say, oh, it was all because it was coming out at the same time that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Battlefield 1 and all that stuff was coming out. I'm not going to say that. Because there were quite a few different things. Another reason that people might not have bought it was because the first one was kind of a disaster overall. I mean, it was fun, multiplayer-wise, but it was just, from a campaign perspective specifically, it was just kind of a disaster. But they figured, let's give it another shot, see if we can actually make this work. And they did. They made a phenomenal game. To this date, it is still one of my favorite video games I've ever played. Had an awesome campaign, not insanely long, which I'm okay with, because it was quality over quantity, and it was an awesome campaign. And the multiplayer is just phenomenal, and that's the same way it was with the first one. It was a very different game, but like I said, it has to make money, and it just did not make a lot of money. And so if Respawn had not, or I'm sorry, I keep getting them confused. If EA had not bought Respawn, which it for a considerable amount of money, Respawn would have been shut down anyway. They probably would have filed for bankruptcy, and Titanfall 2 servers might have even been shut down because of all that stuff. So this saved Respawn. It gave them the money to pay their employees so they can go home, provide for the families, and keep food on the table, which was needed. Does that mean that we're not going to see a Titanfall 3? I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. But what I do know is that a lot of people are talking bad about Respawn for buying EA, or can I fix what I'm trying to say? A lot of people are talking bad about EA buying Respawn. And they're talking bad about Respawn for actually accepting it. But why? You're talking bad about them for making a smart business decision that saved their company and their game and their community. And the thing is, a lot of people that are doing this are people that haven't even played Titanfall 2. They haven't supported the game. Maybe they played the beta and they were like, yep, I don't want this game, and now they're going after EA and saying, well, you're just going to buy Respawn to shut it down and everything. And then they're talking about Respawn saying, well, why'd you do this? And you just doomed your company. You were the reason. If you didn't buy the game, you are the reason why Respawn is was bought by EA. You're the reason why they couldn't truly afford to continue to pay their employees and keep making content for Titanfall 2 and maybe even down the road Titanfall 3. So you have no right to be talking bad about them because you're the reason why this is happening. But Like I said before, I love the game. I love Respawn. I like the people at Respawn because they know what they're doing when it comes to making a video game. But we'll just have to wait and see how this all plays out. But in the end, I personally think that Respawn made the right choice. Otherwise, they would have probably been shut down. I know this is a little different from... Actually, this is a lot different from my normal videos that I put up, and soon I will be returning to my normal videos and everything putting up, but I just had to talk about this because of the flack that Respawn is getting over this. But hopefully some of you people learned something, and maybe I changed the mind of a few people. But a like and a subscribe is always appreciated. If you dislike it, that's fine by me. That's your choice. But I hope to see you guys around soon. Peace out.